tell me about your dad. You know,
My dad.
About your dad. Just, you
Well,
know.
my dad was the youngest of quite a few children. One sister died when she was 14. He had a sister, Bessie, who was probably 16 years older than he, and a brother, Charles, who was 17 years older.
Really? So was he the baby of the family then?
Yes, he was the baby of the family. Well, yes, he was the youngest, so his parents were old, and he was almost 42 years old when I was born. So consequently, you've got a long spread in generation.
Did you ever know your
I did not know my grandfather Dunham. He was born in 1836.
Wow.
And my grandmother Dunham was born in 1839. And they were married in 1865. My grandfather Dunham, his name was Martin Van Buren Dunham.
Really? Came
from the East Coast on horseback in 1957, first to Iowa and then on to Omaha. My grandmother had already come from the East Coast by covered wagon in 1855. So they met in Omaha and were married. My grandfather, Martin Van Buren Dunham, was a member of the territorial legislature when Nebraska was still a territory. He was past master after Nebraska became a state. He was past master of the Masonic Lodge, Nebraska Masonic Lodge. I did not know him. My grandmother Dunham, they were the ones that lived at 818 South 33rd Street, and that's where the folks lived when I was born. And then when they moved on South 34th Street, Grandma Dunham moved with them. They took care of her. She died in a fire in that house.
Oh, really?
In 1924. She had evidently gone into a closet, a walk-in closet. She always carried a candle. And she had gone into that closet with a candle, evidently to look for something. And she must have had a heart attack or something and fell and set the house on fire, and she burned to death in the house.
Wow. And she was alone at the time in the house?
My mother was down in the basement canning. They had a burner downstairs, and she was canning. So that was a real tragic thing.
Well, I guess.
I kind of got off.
Well, what do you remember most about your dad? What was he like?
He was a very difficult person. He was very opinionated, and he was really kind of antisocial.
Really?
I always felt like he came too late in my grandparents' life, and he was always kind of put down and run into the ground. Now, don't ask me why, but I think he was. He worked for the telephone company for 46 years, and that was his life. And when they retired him, he decided that he just wasn't any use to anybody. And he had photography as a hobby, and he also had lapidary, rocks, and making, polishing rocks and making jewelry out of the rocks.
Huh.
They didn't, my folks didn't seem to be able to keep friends. I mean, I think that was because Dad was so owly, he would find fault with things and everything. So he had a couple of cronies from the telephone company that he did a few things with. And my mother made her life separate from that. I mean, she was busy on church work. She was belonged to a garden club. And anyhow, he really was a real tough person to
grandma? How about your mother? My grandma, who I did know.
Yeah, mother was born in Newton, Iowa. She was born on April 15th, 1888. And she was one of 3 children. She had 2 brothers. Mother was the oldest, and then Walter was 2 years younger, and Harold was 2 years younger than that. Her parents were Lily Julia McCord, and her father was Edgar Dean Finch. The Finches were English. The McCords were Scotch-Irish, is what they always said, but they were some of the Scotch farmers that were sent over to Northern Ireland to farm when England
Really?
began their rule over there.